What's going on YouTube? It is Adrian Hawkins of HawkFit, and we are bringing you another video. We are starting a brand new series, excited for it, and we're going to be dealing with the topic of mobility. We've got the doctor in the house, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, today we're working on range of motion of the shoulder, but we're going to start the first part of it, and this includes your extensors. Extensors, range of motion. So what's an extensor? An extensor is anything that makes you go behind your plane. It makes you, there's a plane which cuts you right in the middle here, and then anything behind it, if you go backwards, those are your extensors. So those are the things you're going to work on today. We're going to talk about of your shoulder. Of course, there's anterior motion, which is on the front, but then there's also the extensors, or extension of your humerus. So when you're extending your humerus. So here on the diagram, that's your humerus, that's your arm, and that's your shoulder blade. The shoulder blade is really involved with that. On the inside of your shoulder blade, it's attached to your rib using the subscapularis. But we are talking about the muscles that are on the back of your shoulder blade, which include the supraspinatus. You can see there's a scapular spine right there, the acromion. Supra meaning on top of that spine, and then infra under that spine, spinatus. And then of course there's a teres minor, and then there's a teres major right under it. Those are in charge of moving your arm behind you or across behind you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Range of motions to help with that. I've been trying to find a diagram that kind of is a little bit friendlier, that doesn't look so crazy, but I can't seem to find one on there. A lot of times when people don't have a good range of motion, when this is not working well, it's not bringing your arm backwards, is because either the muscles in the front, which are the pectoralis minor and major, are overpowering and not allowing, because that's exactly the opposite of those. The pectoralis minor is the opposite of those muscles that I showed you. Of course there's other agonists involved, but for now we'll just keep it simple at that. This is a good picture showing the pectoralis minor going against, there's kind of a super exposed picture, and these are the muscles on the under your shoulder blade, but on the other side or behind you. Anyway, so that's what we're going to talk about, range of motion. Anytime you want to talk about range of motion, you want full motions of those. So it means that you have to be able to achieve movement on the front, like this lady's doing on this picture, or on the, so you can see that's coming forward, and that's on both sides, left and right. So anytime if you can push your arm, if there's restriction because of those back muscles, this is a good stretch for it, because you want to go all the way back and all the way in. There's some degrees that they want you to follow, and you can look that up. But really, that's all we're going to talk about today, is how you're able to move your arm across and how you're able to move your arm behind you. There should be full range of motion. If there's a restriction, usually because there's an injury on there. All right, that's what we'll do today. So here's my specimen, my live specimen. I mean, look at this formation here. And you can see there's some formation there, some formation there. But particularly the ones we're involved with today are these over here. Turn a little bit this way. There you go. And you can see all these contours on his back. So give me some nice tighten up for me.
You want like a pose? Or
I want a pose, yeah.
So if I was to just like,
yeah, there it is. So you can see those formations there. Okay. So that's what we're looking for here, is anything, all these are supporting the shoulder blade. Now you can see the shoulder blade has laterally shifted and it's come out a little bit more. So the muscles that are in charge of that are the minor pectoralis, which you can see are extended out here and goes to the humerus. Not pectoralis, minor teres and major teres. So those are coming out this, and then of course the anterior ones to take out over there, and that's good. So now I want you to, and then turn. Yeah, turn this way. Okay, yeah. And then they release. All right, so I want you to do that nice Arnold one that they do this way, so that your shoulder blade sticks out. Move to your, there you go. The serratus posterior, superior, those are some of those that are on the rib cage here. But you can see now here the rhombus are trying to not allow the shoulder blade to come out, the minor and the major rhombus, and then of course the chops go around there. So range of motion, for me, if I'm trying to get range of motion and there's something that's holding, turn this way a little bit this way. I will talk about deep tissue release. I would get in there along the medial border of that shoulder blade. And can you feel the ropiness there that I'm going through?
I can.
Yeah. So
all those little bumps.
Yeah. That's some of that serratus posterior, superior that I'm running into, because the rib cage has some intercostals on there. And then there's some muscles, longissimus, latissimus, the longissimus that run across that each into each segment of the rib kind of attached there. But that's what I do for that. And then I also would do what? Get into the lateral aspect of the shoulder blade, almost on the left side of that apex of that shoulder blade. And I'd get into, using my thumb, I would get into that, doing deep tissue release. Right there. I'd get under there, and then turn around, and then I want you to just lift your arm up that way. And then I would also get into the under part of that shoulder blade. You feel that there?
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yes. And then release it that way. And then grab onto, now that's more his latissimus dorsi. But the ones I want are right under there. And I'm feeling, just to loosen some of that, I'm feeling that. Okay. So if that's not working when he's standing up now, he can lay down for me. So continuing with what we're talking about is those muscles run and they connect onto his humerus. So I would also get into the posterior side of the humerus, because that's where some of these attach, and right onto the lateral border, superior side of the shoulder blade. You feel that roughness there?
Oh yeah.
So using my thumb is ideal, but if I want to save my thumb for many, many years to come, I use, again, the guy that has a thumper on it, and I just kind of run along the pattern of the minor, teres, and major, all along there. You feel that there? What are you feeling when I do this? Oh, that hurts right there.
Almost like I have an automatic response through the rest of my arm.
Yeah. So all I'm doing is I'm tracking where the muscles that align the supraspinatus that runs over there, and then the infraspinatus, because they all come and hook up to the top of his arm. So if I can just all along, because I'm trying to get any restriction out of that muscle body. I'm trying to, by doing deep tissue release, I'm trying to take out any lactic acid that might be sitting in there. I'm trying to lengthen the muscle. but also at the same time I'm trying to release some of these rhomboids, minor and major, which also what do not allow the shoulder blade to glide out laterally. And you can see that's part of his shoulder blade that has come out because his humerus has abducted. It has gone outward, so the shoulder blade is out. That's part of the work of muscles of the back of the shoulder blade, is to shut off so that this arm can come up. So when he brings his arm back that way, now resist. No, I'm gonna push it down, resist.
Okay.
Resist. You can see those muscles come into action very quickly. See the rhomboid is refusing, and you can see these minor major tears. You can see the supraspinatus, the infraspinatus, all of them come alive fighting, and you can see that in there. Do you feel that? What are you feeling as I do that? Are you feeling those muscles that we were talking about working?
Yeah, right along here.
And that's the minor
Very
major
tight.
tears. So that's what it is. So if he puts his arm back up and there's a restriction of the shoulder blade, go ahead and put the arm down. Then of course, working on that by dip tissue release along the rhomboids, but also hitting it like this also it's like tenderizing the steak because of all the steak that he has in there. So that's part of helping with the range of motion. Okay, now he could use therapy bands also, with the therapy band attached to the ground, or you could use a dumbbell where he's holding that way and just extensors like that. He's extending his arms while he's laying down. Go ahead and stand up. What do you call these for you?
So we're just gonna go backwards?
Yeah, you're gonna go backwards. So that tricep extension. There you go. You can see what his muscles are doing back there. And those are the muscles on top of the shoulder blade that help his arm to reach out back there. Do you feel that? So also, he can just hold it back there, bring back, hold the knees a little, and I can do that. What are you feeling, Adrian, as I do this?
Well, the side that you just worked out definitely feels more activated than the left side.
Yeah, and you can see you're actually turning towards the left side than the right side. That's good. All right. So to explain what that felt like for you by activating those extensors of the shoulder blade.
So basically what I felt is the back is providing the stability while the triceps are pulling in work, doing the resistance work with the band.
Yeah. And it's an isometric work. It's an isometric work where he can actually just hold, like he was, just hold, turn, facing me, and I'm trying to get in the camera. So move forward a little bit, forward towards over. Yeah. And there you go. And then just hold. And we can talk for an hour and see how long you hold. Now extend even more. No, not you, just your arms. Do you feel that in there? And as I pull, the muscles activate.
Yeah, my upper back is definitely locked.
Yeah, and that's
in
what.
place. My shoulders, my delts are all locked, but the lactic acid is in the triceps.
There you go. All right. Okay, so those are some of the functions of those muscles that we just talked about, especially the ones that are the supra, the infra, the major, minor, for the movements. It's not the adductor. Adductor is one of them that it does, but also extensors. You know, extending the arm is part of what that range of motion is.
Okay, so like for instance, when I'm posing and I have to do, I don't know if this will show up, but when I have to do like
that's
a lat spread,
these have to shut off.
I notice that this side will come out much easier than this side.
Yeah, so that means,
And it feels that this side will come out further.
it means that these muscles are not shutting off.
Okay.
The ones they're not shutting off to let that go. So this side is letting go, and this side is not letting go. You can actually see that in the mirror, in the video. Move to your right, and you can see this is spread out a little, for sure. So it's spread out a little bit more than that side. Yeah.
So yeah, you can see it. I can feel it.
Yeah, it is just
So
amazing.
how would you
repeat of what we
repeat
just
on this side?
Yeah, what
What
was
just
just
happened?
Which is what, again, deep tissue release. So he's talking about how one side is not moving than the other. Again, he has to deep tissue release with either that or a ball, and always making sure that you are also releasing those rhomboids, because those rhomboids are resisting any of the displacement of the shoulder blade to go outward. These rhomboids will refuse that.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
So again, this is something that's, if you've been watching the channel, this is something that's not new to you or to me, because I'm very aware that the right side of my body is dominant, which is causing strain on the left side. So this side is not shutting off because this side is constantly working. So I have to take care and precautions and always work my left side just a little bit harder to basically catch up, for lack of a better word. It's got to catch up for all the additional work that the right side of my body has done over the years.
Yeah, true.
So
True. Well, good. Good. All right, let me adjust that. So this is what I do as a chiropractor, that I just, at least adjust this side that I was working on, which is this side. Okay? Well,
oh, that was not pleasant.
so
You want me to
lay
face
down?
down?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
So I'm following up my work of working on this, because the levator, which is on the top, of the shoulder blade, the levator will also restrict the major teres, minor, supraspinators. Those the levator will restrict that. So I have to get the top part of it and loosen that up for him, because this wants to fight anything that's down here. I mean, this one wants to pull up, this one wants to pull down. So by me adjusting that helps. Okay? It releases some of the tension.
And I just did shoulders yesterday, so they're pretty tight and tired and sore and tender.
Lift head up. Now. Good. As I get to know Adrian a little bit more, it becomes easier to adjust it. Yeah. Then head in, and then there's a rhomboid. There. That's good.
Yep. Was there more than you expected in there?
That's more than I expected, yeah.